double-decker bus was approaching the bridge on a foggy day. The bridge had only really just cracked open, about what it is now. And they say a double-decker bus jumped from one side to the other with 20 passengers on board. As I say, that was in the 1950s. And what the bus driver got was a £10 bonus on his paycheck for bravery, would you believe? The bonus he got was greatly received. He used this for his dry cleaning, I hear, which was probably needed. The man, he was called Albert Gunter, the bus driver. As I say, we know a lot about him. He used to drive Arctic lorries in the forces in the Second World War, so he's very confident with these big vehicles, and I'm sure that's what gave him the bottle, the nerve to put his foot down. And as I say, once we get a clear bit of water, we'll turn the boat for you, and we'll get a side-on view. Tower Bridge, as I say, took 8 years to construct. I watched a documentary on how these steel bridges was put together. It was riveting.
Souvenirs and all your children. Please remember your kids. I was actually left here at the age of 4 and I'm still here. And nobody came. It's being carried out, they've silenced the bell. Now in the meantime, Big Ben has taken to the social media platform called Twitter. Okay, Big Ben has its own Twitter account. And it's the days of your life. Let's take it from there. And ahead of us to the right, we have the new Palace of Westminster, also known as the Houses of Parliament. It is a royal palace. It belongs to me. I wouldn't recommend it. Marriage. In fact, I believe it's the second most popular place on the planet for marriage proposals. Does anybody know the first? It's this boat. This boat. Stranger things have happened. If you are planning on proposing on the London Eye, just a word of advice, make sure they are going to say yes. So we just passed underneath a railway line, passing at the same time above a railway line. So London Underground's Bakerloo and Northern lines run underneath the river, parallel to the bridge on this part of our cruise. Up to the left, and you can see the London Eye. Now the London Eye is London's most visited tourist attraction. It was opened in the year 2000 to celebrate the millennium, and it was meant to be a temporary attraction. It was originally supposed to last only 5 years. 21 years later, and it is still spinning. Now around the outside of the wheel, there are 32 glass pods, and each one of those represents one of the 32 boroughs that make up the Greater London area. It is open at the moment. You're likely to see in London today. To become a Union Jack, that flag, the same shipyards as the Titanic, the Harland and Wolff shipyards, for £48 million. A very clever man indeed. It now belongs to the singer and music producer will.i.am. Okay, he owns the apartment. I don't think he's there very often, but it is his. And on the left, the HMS Belfast, 2 feet tall, goes up 95 stories. Inside there are hotels, offices and apartments. Now the most expensive apartment in the Shard, the penthouse suite, was taken by the architect, an Italian man. He was called Renzo Piano. Now when he designed the Shard, he was offered £2 million for his design, and he refused. He declined. The oldest part of the tower is the centre castle with the 4 turrets. That is known as the White Tower, or the Norman's Keep. Okay, today this is where you can find the crown jewels, and they are guarded by the Yeoman Warders, and they're better known to me and you as beef eaters, and they reside in the castle. So we're turning the boat now. Okay, the tide has started to flood into London, and in the next 5 hours the tide will rise 7 metres. Now if you come back on the river at 5 o'clock this afternoon, you'll be 7 metres higher than you are now. So as we turn, we're being pushed up the river away from the bridge, and off to the right, a lovely view of Tower Bridge, completed and opened in 1894. It's unique. Okay, it's the only bridge of its kind anywhere in the world, being both suspension bridge and bascule bridge. The bascule part in the centre opens like a double-sided drawbridge, and this will allow large ships or tall-masted vessels in and out of the City of London. So Tower Bridge is the easternmost boundary of the capital city of London, the 1 square mile. When the Romans landed 2,000 years ago, they claimed this land to the right, London Inn. So there we go, as we turn, the Tower of London off to the right. The City of London here, the modern skyline that you can see. And ahead of us and off to the left, look.
Yo.